Good morning, a second time for December 6th. Because the first time I did a video, it was like 1 o'clock in the morning. So the day had just begun. Um, I'm not sure where today is going to take me. I'm going to go and do a smoothie. I haven't had a smoothie in quite a while. So I'm going to make it a little different. I'm not sure. Maybe I'll include you in on that video. Smoothies are good. You just have to be careful what you put in them. And I still don't have everything I need because I should be putting vegetables in them. And those would be like, I wonder if cabbage would work. Excuse me, I don't know about that. But I do know cabbage fights cancer. A lot of things fight cancer. Your green leafy vegetables like spinach. I should have some spinach. Gonna have to make a little list, but I am going to be here just a little bit longer. My plans have solidified to a point, meaning I got my plane ticket. Got the plane ticket done. I'm not going to make it home for Christmas. I will land in Philadelphia 11:20 p.m. on Christmas Day. And so by the time I get off the plane and get to my baggage and all that stuff, it'll be midnight. The bewitching hour. I don't know. It's all on how you look at it. Okay, people? I just was over there singing. And it's one I always sing. I mean, I sang quite a bit anyway. And when I'm not even thinking, it just comes out of my mouth. So I don't know if I can do it again, but that one phrase is what always comes out. And it's all, I will never fall in love again until I find you. I will never fall in love unless it's you I fall into. I was lost within the darkness, but then I found her. I found you. Anyway, I love that song. And I'm sure it's because of how my heart feels. Okay? There is a person that stimulates that song. I mean, it stimulates it to come out of my mouth. So, I love that song. And I need to listen to a different one. One of the first songs that he introduced to me, told me to listen to, was Perfect by Ed. I don't know who does it, but I don't know how to pronounce his name. But everybody knows him because there's millions of views of that song. And the first time that I heard it, it made me cry. So, pretty cool. Pretty cool when you can sing something and inspire someone's emotions to where they do have tears. I have tears just thinking about that moment. And I don't remember the song so well. It sounded like they fell in love when they were kids. Anyway, I'll have to listen to that. I don't know if I've ever sang that. I just listened and cried. So, try to get these tears out of my eyes. Happiness shall prevail, people. We must turn on our light. And that comes from me and Dumbledore. back years ago, years and years and years ago, when I was going out, and I'm just not understanding me because I know I was living with mom and dad. When I wrote some papers, I had a bunch of papers that I was sharing. Okay, live with mom and dad. Then I moved up on the mountain. Then I came back down and lived in a little house close to mom and dad. In fact, they owned it. Jesse was in the first, second, and third grade when we lived in that house. It was in Fruit Valley, Vancouver, Washington. And it's in a poor neighborhood, very poor neighborhood. And actually, I found out later on that that whole neighborhood had been flooded, a bad flood. And I'm not sure of all the logistics about it, but like behind my house, behind the little house we lived in, there was a dike. Okay, so at the very back of the yard was a dike. So you climb up the dike and then you look out there, and what do you see? A sewage treatment plant. Or maybe you would call it a water treatment plant. But they were taking sewage and making it into water, I think. Something to think about, people. I have a hard time with our water. Will you be drinking tap water? You don't drink tap water. You get a Brita filter. You get a knockoff of a Brita filter. I showed you the one that I got. Because Dad's water, even though he had filters in the fridge, that the water tasted bad. And I told him, anything that tastes bad, that should tell you it's not good for you. And I guess I bitched enough that finally, finally he bought one. I found one, a big one, at Walmart. It was a knockoff. It wasn't the Brita. It was a Walmart brand. But same thing. They have the filters. The filters were $3 for, I don't remember, but it was a lot cheaper than the Brita, okay? So don't let that stop you. Go to Walmart and find, I don't want to go get it. I've showed it to you before. Shown it to you before. But it's pretty big. So if you have several people drinking out of it, what you have is, what I did was I got the Brita knockoff. I got the water filter. And then also the little ice cube maker. Put them next to each other, but you have to separate them because you have to have 4 inches of air on either side of the fridge part to work. But you clean your water. You put your water in this filter. It goes through a filter. It's got charcoal in it and stuff. It gets, it works when you compare. Compare a swallow of water out of the tap. And then go and have some out of that filter. It doesn't taste bad. It tastes good. Or maybe it just doesn't even have a taste at all. But it doesn't taste like the tap water. Okay? So stop it. If you're drinking out of the tap, stop it. And if you're going to the tap to get the water to boil your potatoes and the water to cook all your other stuff, stop it. Don't put that poison. It's poison in your body. Okay? But back to this dike and what I saw on the other side. I don't know what you call them. They were square. And there was a bunch of them, of these big holding tanks. That's what it is, a holding tank for this water. And there were chemicals or whatever they're doing in there. But what had happened, and I don't know how many years ago, it was probably many years before I lived there. There came a big flood. I don't know what the deal was, but all that yucky stuff flooded into Fruit Valley. The houses were flooded up at least to the top of the doors. And so those houses that did not get redone, I wonder what's in those walls. I mean, they should have been mandatory to do that, and maybe they did, but I'm not sure. My daughter got impetigo there, and we just couldn't seem to get rid of it. I mean, she had it for a while. And, we're itchiers, you know. I'm bad. I've always been bad. If there's something going on in my head, then my hand is finding it, feeling it, scratching it. Same thing with my baby. She got impetigo and it was on her face and up in here, and I remember taking her to the doctor because it just didn't seem to go away. So anyway, that was just another little story. You guys be careful. Don't drink the tap water. And if you want to, I mean, I don't know if every place does this, but in Texas, where I lived in Texas, the people who, the city, the city sent a letter out to everybody telling them about the water, how many contaminants were in it. A long list, single file typing of contaminants in that water. Oh, there's safe levels. Well, bull crap. And one of the things that had happened is, I think, even over by where we lived, because they had several wells that fed the city. The city wasn't all that big, but still, one of the wells got contaminated. And what they had was these, I'll try to describe it, old. I mean, I don't know how many years ago old. They had these like fire extinguishers, okay? But what they were glass. They were really pretty. They were glass. I think they were red. That's why they were pretty. And they had stuff in them. So like if there was a certain situation, maybe a fire, I guess, because I called it a fire extinguisher. But for some reason, they were down in those wells. And one of them broke. Chemicals. But anyway, in Perryton, Texas, you can go to the city where you get your bills from and everything, and you can ask them for a list of contaminants that's in the water, and you'll get one. So I bet you might could do that everywhere. I don't know. But I'm just telling you, people, don't just drink out of the frickin' tap and think that that's healthy. Okay? And you might have something to say, but I would say that you should do a test. Drink your water out of your tap and then drink some water that has been filtered. And tell me the difference. I already know the difference. I could drink it. But not out of the tap, people. Okay? And with all the sicknesses we got going on, all the cancer and the diseases and all that stuff, you need to be careful what you put into your body. And a lot of us, freely take poisons into our body, like alcohol. You be drinking alcohol, you thinking you're having a good old time. You're not helping your body any, okay? You're tearing it up for another day. Maybe you think about dehydration. We're supposed to drink for hydration, right? Well, these soda pops, do they make you feel like your thirst was quenched? They made me thirsty. And then these zero sugar. I don't know if flavored water with no sugar immediately gives me cotton mouth. Like smoking pot. Smoking pot gives you cotton mouth. Dries you up inside. I don't think that's really good for you. So you need to stay hydrated, but not necessarily on certain things. You know, if you take a couple swallows of something and then before you know it you're thirsty, there's something wrong there, okay? So that's just a little advice. Might be too late because we've all, I'm sure I drank out of the faucet, cooked out of the faucet forever and a day until I knew about these filters and stuff. And yes, me and Joe, we moved out to that property and we made our own Berkey. I think there's a thing called a Berkey filter. Stands on your countertop. It's two parts. And what it is filters in the top. You pour the water in, and then it filters down, and then you've got a little valve you turn on, and you can drink water. Okay, it's filtered your water. Well, Joe and I took, because we saw it on YouTube, I'm sure, 2 5-gallon buckets, 2 5-gallon buckets with their lids, and we bought the filters, okay? And they're kind of spendy. I don't remember now the price, but we got 4 filters. And then we drilled holes through the bottom and into the top. In other words, we put the buckets with their lids on, well, not the top one, because we had to drill through that, okay? But we took, ouch, we took the one bucket with its lid, and then the other bucket sits in the top of it, okay? And then we drilled 4 holes that would fit the filter. The filter comes with this hole in the bottom. You know, it's got a thing, so you can stick it through and then screw it on. So then when you pour the water in the top bucket, it goes through the filter, and then it goes through that pipe into the bottom. And then in the bottom of the bottom, you screw in and you add a tap. So you can open it up and let the water out. I know you can't see my whole hands and stuff, but I always talk with my hands. Anyway, instead of spending like $257 or $357, I don't know which it was. I mean, it's a very pretty, the Berkey is really pretty, and it's stainless steel, and that's another thing I've learned, you know, recently is we shouldn't really be storing our food or our water in plastic, okay? So they're saying the plastic microscopically leaches into whatever's contained in it. That's scary. After I listened to that, I went and looked in the cupboard, and all the food, a lot of the food is sitting there in plastic. And then our water bottles. We go get our water bottles full of water thinking we're doing really great. Well, guess what? That plastic, they're in plastic. They did, I guess, start making the plastic out of vegetable stuff. I don't know. And I don't know what BPA is, but that's a big deal. Water without BPA, or the plastic bottles without the BPA. So it's got to have something to do with chemicals, I'm sure. Nevertheless, people, I hope I turned that speaker up. I bet I didn't. I hope you can hear me. And this is a clue. If you can't hear me very well, if you'll put in earbuds, do the Wi-Fi setup and put in the earbuds and stuff, you'll hear me a lot better. Because sometimes I've had to do that. We can say, yeah, my ears aren't that good. But my speaker in my phone is not very good. This is the iPad. But I'm going to probably stop here. I'm going to go down and gather up the stuff for my smoothie. I have not had a smoothie in for a long time. I might make it a little bit different. I'm not sure. Because in the old days, I would just put all fruit and nuts and everything that was going in there. I filled it up, and then I just put a little bit of liquid in there, okay? But that can be costly. I mean, if you have to worry about money and stuff, so then you should go in there and just put a few of this and a few of that, you know, all the way up. And so the fruit costs money. Everything costs money, you know. So instead of like, spread it out a little bit. I do have the ground up flaxseed I'm going to be putting in my smoothie. So I'm going to put walnuts, flaxseed, strawberries, blueberries, and I finally bought some Slim Fast, so I'm going to put some Slim Fast in there. And then, you know, you can either use, I don't know, but I think you can just use water. Clean water, filtered water, okay? But instead of milk, because I always use milk because it's smooth, it's smoother, like ice cream with the milk. So then you can do almond milk. or other types of nut milk instead of dairy. And if you're watching your sugars, I guess dairy's got sugar in it. Because I know my blood sugar level went down when I quit using milk in my smoothies. I used almond milk. And what I did with that, because really you got to watch your sugars, people, and cancer loves sugar. And this woman, Barbara O'Neill, that I listened to the other day, she was saying that sugar is acid. Our cancer loves an acidic, whatever you want to call that. We want to have a pH balanced system. But it's not just the water you drink, it's the food you eat. Different things that you put in your body cause bad things. Okay, so let's get back to what I was talking about before. Taking in poisons. What's your choice of poison? I've mentioned that lately. They usually say that because with alcohol, when you go into the bar and you're at the bar and you make a selection, what's your choice of poison today? Or now, because you might change it from several different things. Let's say here's your lifestyle. You're smoking cigarettes. Maybe I'm talking about me, because once upon a time it was me. I smoked. And then I would go out dancing, but I would always drink. So you got your smoking and your drinking. That's two poisons right there. And then I'm sure they have their way of dehydrating you, and you don't want to be dehydrated. I don't know for sure what the other things are. Oh, pot. Let's don't forget pot. If I had pot, I was smoking it, okay? So we got smoking cigarettes and smoking pot and drinking alcohol. And then if you're drinking the water out of the tap, too, oh my God. And then, a lot of those people are not eating very well, especially if they're poor, because they've already spent their money on the cigarettes and the alcohol and the pot. They don't have money for food. It's not funny. If you guys fit into that category, change it, okay? You need to slow down. I'll tell you what you need to do. You need to quit smoking cigarettes. You really should quit smoking pot, but I know that's impossible. But you could slow down on how much you smoke. Because there are a lot of people out there, even though they've gotten high, they're still smoking. So you're missing the point of the reason for the pot, people. You want to enjoy your buzz, but you also want to be able to continue to get a buzz. The more you smoke, the less high you get. So keep that in your little brain and think about it. How much are you spending on that pot? And do you need to keep smoking after you got a buzz? No, you don't. Smoke a little. Get a good buzz. Stop. Cigarettes, oh my God, stop those things if you can. And that's a habit that's so hard to quit. I smoked, I don't know how many years I smoked, but I smoked a long time. I quit when my granddaughter was born. Got burps going on. She was born September 27th, okay? Between that time and Christmas, I got pneumonia. I could not breathe. I could not take a hit off of a cigarette or pot or anything. I could not take anything into my lungs. And I saw the picture of my lungs, because my mother on Christmas Day, she said, I will pay for the x-ray. Well, I don't know that she ever paid for that x-ray, but it was a way to get me to go, I guess. So I went in, and had this x-ray done. And it was a long time ago, okay? Probably 30 years ago or something. It was 30 years ago because Carly just turned 30. So Christmas Day, this coming Christmas Day, will be 30 years since I took a hit off of a cigarette. Except for my idiot grandkids that that played a prank on me. Could have almost beat him up. Never had no cigarettes in my system forever. And they packed a bomb. And they knew I would hit it hard. But they were using blunts. All I know is it had the pot, but it had tobacco. And they had loaded the bong with roaches of these blunts. So that hit that I got almost made me pass out because it had tobacco in it. I had not had tobacco, I guess, I'm going to say 28 years because it's been 2 years since I've been to my daughter's house. Terrible stuff. Terrible, terrible, terrible stuff. I'm so glad I don't smoke. And my friend does. It's going to be terrible. I mean, I love him to pieces, but I can't stand cigarettes. I don't want to smell it. I don't want to inhale it. You know, when you take a hit off of a cigarette or pot, either way, you take this little hit when it goes in, and then when you exhale it, it covers the whole room. So everybody in the room gets to taste that crap. If you see this, sweetheart, please quit. Please quit. And don't love cigarettes more than you love me. I can remember a time when I was smoking and whatever I was doing, I was going out, and a guy was wanting to kiss on me, but he didn't want to kiss on an ashtray. And I said, that's fine with me. I don't need to kiss you. But see, I was making a choice. The cigarette was more important to me then. But I didn't have any feelings for that guy. There's a difference. You know, if you got some really great feelings, you can't be going outside and having a cigarette every 15 minutes. No. And then when you come back in, you're going to stink. You know, this guy didn't want to kiss an ashtray, and I don't blame him. So, just saying, you people out there that have that habit, you need to stop. It's bad for you, and it's bad for the environment. It's bad for the people in the same room with you. And I'm guilty. I'm so guilty. When my daughter was young, she had no choice of the air that she breathed. But there's her mother smoking cigarettes and smoking pot, filling up the air. So I'm just telling you, people, stop it. I knew some people that, I knew a girl, she lived next to me, real sweet woman. Anyway, she smoked, and what she did was she went and got hypnotized so that she wouldn't have the urge to smoke. I'm not sure that it actually worked, but it helped her slow way down, okay? And she spent a lot of money on that, I think around $500. And this was when my daughter was first, second, or third grade. That's where I was living when I met her. Michelle. I'd really like to connect with Michelle. And actually, she's in Washington. I just don't know where she's at. I couldn't really say she's in Washington, but last I knew, she was living in Battleground. Where you get off the road, you get off the freeway, and then you go straight up a road for a while, and then you make a right to head towards Battleground. My hand's doing this over here. Anyway, point is, she's a wonderful person. I would like to hook up with her again. I hope she's doing great. And so those choices of poisons, you know, sometimes we have no choice of the poison that's going in us because people around us are doing that. But I did smoke a long time. So this Christmas, in 1 month, will be 30 years. So for that one mishap with my grandkids. My grandsons, I have 2. They were in on it together. Smack, smack. Yeah, knocked their heads together for what they did to me. They thought it was funny. Well, it was not. Okay? How rude. You know, they're kids. That's what I was saying about kids, you know. They think it's all great and groovy to smoke, not, well, to smoke too much, to huff it in and hold it in, and you don't know what it's doing to your body. And then, what I was going to say is the alcohol. Because when you're younger, you're stupid. And they would go to parties and then drink a whole fifth. Are you going to live after that? Chance you may not. Anyway, people, things you take into your body, be careful. And if you're taking a poison into your body, really be careful. Don't. I mean, drinking. If you can control yourself and just have a couple of drinks, get a little tipsy, you know, that's one thing. But then there's the other. And there are people who have died of alcohol poisoning. And we don't want our kids to do that. So, in some instances, we just need to prepare our children. They're not going to listen to us, but you know, maybe if we let them know the dangers, they will at least try to control it better. I don't know. So I've talked way too much. It's been 31 minutes. And I do need to eat something. So today I'm going to make sure that I do my smoothie. I don't know if I have all the ingredients that I need, but I'm going to do the best with what I got. And then I started to say earlier, like the vegetables, I need to do that. The ones that will go good. Celery is good in a smoothie. Celery and apple put together is really good. And then spinach. It's really good for you. It's the only way I can have it. Put it in my smoothie. And I've seen where they put bok choy and all kinds of different things you can put in a smoothie. And you can mix fruit and vegetables that way. But no, broccoli and cauliflower, I put that in once it was frozen, okay. I thought, okay, frozen, I'll just put it in there. No, it was nasty. and my naturopath had told me that I should steam them. Steam the vegetables and then put it in your smoothie. But I didn't listen to her. And yesterday, for my lunch dinner, whatever you would call it, I had, you know, they sell those bags of broccoli and cauliflower and different things, okay? So I had a bag of broccoli. I've learned I love broccoli. So I bought 5 bags this last time. So I heated up the bag, and then I had the whole bag. And I had a little bit left, which I saved for later that day. But I had broccoli and butter, salt and pepper. So I assume that's really good for me, because green vegetables, broccoli especially, fights cancer. If you have avocados, you can put an avocado in your smoothie. It just makes it real nice and smooth. Creamy is the word I'd be looking for. So it's really good. So you can mix. I need a little bit bigger cup. My cup is 24 ounces. I need like a 32 ounce. That way you can put in diverse things and have room, okay? But in mine, I'm just going to do the blueberries, the strawberries, the walnuts, flaxseed. I'm going to do Slim Fast. And usually what I do is just like half of what they're calling for. Because I know for a fact that it helped me not get hungry. And that's important. Because if you get sick when you get hungry, not cool. So, it has vitamins and minerals in it. And it has something that helps me not be hungry. So, important ingredient for me. My my naturopath said, no, it's too sweet. I mean, in other words, don't use Slim Fast because it's too sweet. And I'm fighting cancer. But it's like that old adage, and I don't even know if it's an adage. Remember Mary Poppins? A spoonful of sugar helps the medicine go down. It does. Okay? Now, I'm counting on my Slim Fast not being a spoonful of sugar. but it does give flavor, gives vitamins and minerals. There is some sugar, and it helps me not get hungry. So I think that's pretty good. So I'm going to go down and gather up those things and make me a smoothie and start eating that stuff, because at least I'm getting really good nutrition with it. Blueberries, strawberries, walnuts. And if I had the leafy greens, if I had some spinach, I'd shove that in there. So I need to make a list of things that I want to put in my smoothie. I never eat apples, but I had an apple, but I did peel it. Maybe you shouldn't peel it, but you need to wash them really good, especially if you're not buying organic. That's another thing she said. If you are not eating organic, you are eating Roundup. So you think about that. That's another big old frickin' poison, causing cancer. So we don't want that. So, like if you're not buying organic, you should peel the peeling. Use a potato peeler, so it's a thin thing. But they're saying a lot of your nutrition is up there in that peel. So, I just say wash it, wash it, wash it. And not with soap. I don't know how you'd wash it without soap, but you know. Soap is another thing. I don't think that's good for you to be ingesting in your body. They used to make it out of lye. I don't know what they make it out of now. I gotta have some water. And I need to start taking this. Baking soda. I mean, here I have it, but I haven't been taking it. And the thing about baking soda, I guess it does a whole lot of things, but it neutralizes your system. It gives you a pH balance. And she didn't tell me to take it for that. She just told me to take a 1/4 teaspoon in the morning and a 1/4 at night. And what she wanted me to do was a 1/2 teaspoon in the morning and a 1/2 at night. But she said some people can't tolerate that, so you want to... Oh, God, I'm sweating already. What's the deal? I don't know if I took my pills. I went over there and got them, and I think I took them back, so I must have took them. I've got to do something better about these sweats, but they do. I'm on the 2nd floor, so the heat rises, and then the heater is running, and I have my door shut because I can't have the cats intermix. The other day, the cat got out. I didn't know it. All of a sudden, there's a growling at my door. And I'm going, what the heck? So I open the door, and here comes a cat. But the point is, if I could open up my door, it would let a lot more air in here, and I wouldn't be, like, thinking I'm suffocating. Anyway, I wonder if I put that in my smoothie. You know, that is a thought, but I don't want to ruin my smoothie. And then I was watching something the other day. It had to be Barbara O'Neill. And then, you know, when you start watching that stuff, other things pop up, so I'm not sure. But they were showing castor oil with baking soda in it. I'll have to try to go watch that and see what it does. I want so much. And part of it is possible if I can just push myself. You know, like wrinkles. I think the wrinkles are coming from both outside and inside, okay? Because, like I said, the dehydration, all the different things that we're doing that make us dehydrated, well, it affects your skin. And sooner or later, those wrinkles are going to show. They're saying castor oil is really good for wrinkles. And I don't know. I'm going to have to listen to that video and find out. Or those videos, because there's more than one. All we can do is the best we can do. And one of the things is becoming aware. So if you are aware of something that is a problem, it'll be easier for you to quit. Or at least slow down. I mean, I've told you guys about my smoking habits and me trying to quit. And it was almost impossible. The only way I could quit is because I got I don't know if it was walking pneumonia. I got pneumonia. I was in a bad way. And I was on heavy medicine for 6 weeks. So I could not smoke anything during that time. So and it might have been 8 weeks. And they say you can change your habit in 8 weeks. So I wasn't about to start smoking again because I had been praying and praying to be able to quit. Or I'd been trying to quit. And that was impossible. The last time I took a hit off of a cigarette, besides that incident I told you about, was Christmas Day. I tried. I went to the garage and I tried to have a smoke. And I could not even get a drag in. And when I went to the doctor, I've told you guys about this before, but I don't know which video. I went to the doctor and had that x-ray, and he put it up on the board. He put it up on the wall where we could look at it, okay? And it was pretty big. It was big. You know, and I got my lung on this side, my lung on this side, and guess what? It was white. One side was completely white. The other side was white all the way down to the bottom, and there was this much black on the bottom. Well, that black was the only place I had air. The white was, I guess, congestion or whatever. Clogged up lungs. So I'm lucky to be alive, and without that really bad case of pneumonia, I probably still wouldn't have quit smoking. Because the more I wanted to quit smoking, the more I smoked. You know, you got this fighting thing going on inside your head. I want to smoke. I don't want to smoke. I want to smoke. You're not going to smoke. Yes, I am. I'm going to smoke even more, you little shit. I'm sorry, I shouldn't have said that. Anyway, the point is that was the struggle that was going on. I was trying to quit, and I was paying attention to all my different habits. You know, there's different habits to do with smoking. Meaning, okay, here's a guy and he's got a pocket, and he's got his cigarettes in his pocket. So he's constantly going to his pocket to get a cigarette, okay? So when he quit smoking, what is he doing? He's still going for that pocket. Still, because it's a habit, okay? Well, here's some little habits. I know that the first thing in the morning when I woke up, I had a cigarette. The last thing at night before I laid in bed, I had a cigarette. I got on the phone to talk to somebody, I lit a cigarette. I got in the car, I lit a cigarette before I got it started. See, I'm not even sure of all the different ones, but there's a lot of them. You sit down for a break and you have a cigarette. After sex, you have a cigarette. After eating, you have a cigarette. Anything and everything you did, you had a damn cigarette. So stop it. At least slow down. You know, you can allow yourself to have cigarettes, but cut half of them away. Same thing with alcohol. If you're drinking, and you know, we are all vain. We all want to look good. So what you're doing is detrimental to your health and your looks. It's going to catch up to you one day. Okay? Just telling you, I love you and I want you to do better. Be happy. And then all that money you're spending on cigarettes, oh my God. You know that when I quit smoking, a carton cost $15. And I thought that was a lot. I've been hearing $8 for the cheap pack. Oh my God, what's wrong with that picture, guys? Bad. And I think it's bad of the people who raise the prices. They think raising the price is going to make you quit. No, it might make you go steal some money so you can buy your damn cigarettes. And at the time, I can remember a time when semi-trucks that were carrying cigarettes were getting robbed. It's not funny. So any old hair, people, it's been way long and I got to get up and get going. So I'm going to go do my smoothie. And I didn't really sing that song. I just told you the words. Unless it's you I fall into. You know, my voice doesn't let me sing very well. I've been doing good to be able to sing. And it was all about smoking. I used to have the most beautiful voice. And sometimes I still do. But it's been a long time. It's been 30 years since I smoked like that. I smoke pot, but I don't like smoking pot either. I just want the buzz. And I will say, if you can afford the top shelf, if you can afford to pay that price, I do like that. It smells good, it tastes good, it's not harsh on your lungs. And it doesn't take very much to get a buzz. But see, that's because I went without for so long. Because I was in a place where it was illegal and I couldn't find it and I was too scared. I mean, every once in a while I had it, but I was too scared to mess with it. Because when a person gets busted, what do? Not everybody, because I didn't do that. But a lot of people will squeal on the person they got it from. They'll become a narc so they don't get in trouble. But you know what? Those cops don't respect you when you do that. They'll use you for that, but they don't respect you. And in the end, they're going to get you. They're still going to make you pay. That's what I've heard. Okay? I got to get busy. I know I say that up a lot, but I am. I'm going to go downstairs, gather up the stuff for my smoothie, and maybe I'll include you. I'll take everything downstairs and we'll see what's going on. The reason about the baking soda, okay? I mean, I know the one is neutralizing your system because cancer can't live in a pH balanced system. But my naturopath told me, and she was a doctor and an oncologist too, and a naturopath. And she went to a seminar once where there was a guy on the stage teaching an auditorium full of doctors about a case study. A very small case study, okay, because they didn't want to spend the money on something that was going to not bring them in some money. In other words, baking soda is pretty cheap. But it was his hypothesis. I haven't said that word in forever. I think I said it right, though. The guy on the stage was saying that he thinks cancer is a fungus. And the baking soda kills the fungus. Okay? But he was able to do targeted, just like that PET scan I just had. What they do is have you go without sugar. For the day before, you have no carbs, and then you go in and you fasting, you don't have any food, and then your blood sugar has to be below. On the other side of the state, it was 150. On this side, they did 200. And I was able to get my PET scan, but I had a hard time. So my blood sugar's been too high. Anyway, and stress will cause it to be high. There's a lot of reasons for your blood sugar to be high, not just diabetes. But what was my point? Okay, what he was saying was he went in and did the same thing, I'm sure, but the PET scan, what they do is they introduce into your body through an IV sugar water, radioactive sugar water. Now, the radioactive is so that they can see it, okay? But what happens is the cancer is starving for the sugar. So just think of somebody who's been starving and all of a sudden they've got all this food that they want. They're going to be going for it. Okay, that's what happens. so they can find out where the cancer is with the PET scan. Because mine was in my bones, in my spine, my bones, my skull, my hips, in between my lungs, all kinds. I was covered, I guess. Okay, now there's no cancer activity. God, I hope that remains. But the point of that, what I was saying, is they could see where the cancer was, and then he had a way. I don't know how he did it, but he had a way to introduce the baking soda to the targeted area where the cancer was, and it dissolved it. So that's not a case study they're going to let out, because it's not going to gain them any damn money. Okay? Let's go to the store and get us some baking soda. So the point is, that's why she told me. That's what she told me is the reason she told me to do the baking soda morning and night. Just put it in your system. And it also helps neutralize the acids. Okay? So that's two great reasons. And I really need to be doing that. I need to buy a quarter teaspoon. So I can just get a quarter teaspoon, dump it on my tongue, and drink something, just like I do with my BC. My BC powder looks like baking soda. And I'm not quite sure what's in there, but I know there's 800 milligrams of aspirin and 65 milligrams of caffeine. And it most of the time works. When the BC powder does not work on my headaches, it means I'm sick. Something's coming along. It's going to make me ill. And it's already in there, making me ill, and I'm not aware of it yet. When the BC powder does not work, I know I'm about to be sick. Just a clue, people. So, 51 minutes. I'm going to go down and get me something. And it's going to be a smoothie. I hope. And with your smoothies, your liquid that you put in it, you can pick and choose. But just remember, because I was just thinking orange juice would be good in a smoothie. But it needs to be a little bit. 4 ounces of orange juice is all you should take at one time if you are a diabetic, because the sugar goes right into your bloodstream. It doesn't have to be digested and processed and all that stuff. It is ready to go. So you drink it and away it goes. And you get a high spike of sugar because of that. Okie dokie. I know, I try to be a doctor too. I do try to share the good news, the good word of God, and the good word of nutrition, what's good for your body. And yes, a lot of us can say, we know, but you know, we're not going to do nothing about it. So, I'll be telling you, people, try to improve your life. What that started out with is I want to get rid of these wrinkles. My whole body has wrinkles. My legs. I've lost a lot. Can't say I've lost a lot of weight because I'm 165, last I knew. But my legs are skinny compared to what they used to be. And I've got crepey skin, loose skin. So I need to do the tighten up. I'm going to be doing the tighten up. And I made a short of Natasha Hohen or something like that. Anyway, just put Zumba with Natasha on your YouTube search and you'll find her. And she does have beginner. I haven't seen it lately, but when I very first saw her, she had exercises while you're laying on the bed. And that would be lifting your legs and different things like that, but you're on the bed. But then she's got walks. I thought there was a 5-minute walk, but there's a 10-minute, 20-minute, 30-minute, 15-minute. And you just walk. You don't have to stay up with her. And if you can't do what she's doing, you just keep walking. It's like going outside and walking, but you're comfortable inside. And with the weather changing, it's cold. And sometimes it's misty and wet. So, But I still need to remember to go walk, because I think I can walk better than I can do the Zumba. I got tired real fast, and that's not going to get me anywhere, is it? So anyway, you guys take care. I'm going to wait just one more little bit until my 33 is there, and that rhymed. Never fall in love again until I found her. I found you. Anyway, pretty soon it's going to be at my 33 and I'll be gone. I can see my veins. I need to put my lotion on too. All right, bye people.